Hey everybody, Logan here. The Nintendo Switch is officially 7 years old. Well, and a couple months. And we have no clue at this point when or if we're getting a Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo hasn't officially said anything. We're pretty sure we're going to get one. It's just a matter of when. Are we in the last year? Are we in the last 2 years? Who knows? But you know what topic has come up quite a bit in this last year and some change? Pro controllers. People are looking for pro controllers now more than ever, it seems. Why? Maybe because of all the new fighting games, or just games in general that just operate better with a controller than they do with the Joy-Con. Some people like the fighting games, some people like shmups, some people like shooters, and what do they usually use? A pro controller. But most people think of this when they think of the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Right. It's the official Nintendo replacement for the Joy-Con. It's your standard classic style controller. But there are other people, a lot of people out there, who think of something more along the lines like this when they think Pro controller. Something fancy with more features, with programmable back buttons, stuff like that. Now, the question is, are they worth it? Or is it just worth it to get a standard controller? Pro controller. It all depends on how you look at it. But the question is, and I see this often, is it worth it? Are they worth it to spend that kind of money? Well, I'm going to show you a couple different options. I'm going to show you the different prices and compare them. Got 3. But honestly, I've got it down, brought it down. The selection of everything I've ever tested down to one, which I think is the best. And it makes it worth it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get into the video. Answer all your questions. Okay, like I said, this is what most people think of. This is the standard Switch Pro controller. They come in many different colors, many different designs. Nintendo has official all black ones. You got ones that are themed in different games like Monster Hunter or Super Smash Brothers, and this one Splatoon, and so on and so forth. These are going to be the replacement for your Joy-Con as a standard controller. When they mean pro on these, it's a professional controller, meaning the pro gamer, the one who doesn't care about the motion controls as much, unless you're playing a game like Splatoon. But you still have all the features that the Joy-Con would, but in a more competitive layout controller. Right? Right. But the majority of people think something like this. Now, this is going to be the one that I think is the best, and I think it's worth it. This one was rather expensive. This is a collector's edition. This is fancy. This is the Famicom 40th anniversary 8-bit do. With it's rather expensive, and it works on multi-platform. So yeah, this one is a collector's thing. Is it worth the money? It depends on who you are, but it doesn't fall in line with this video. The one I'm going to show you right now, this is it. This is the one that's worth it.
What? What the?
No, this was just a funny one that I purchased to make a video on quite some time ago. I thought it was rather comical. It was like a $20 controller. It was actually better than a lot of them that I've used in the past, and it was rather funny, but you do have all that nonsense. But no, this isn't it at all. We've got GameSir, we've got GuliKit Zen Pro, and then we have 8-bit do. When you're looking at something like this, it's going to be much cheaper than even this. So that question of, is it worth it? Yeah, it comes down to this. It depends on how much you want to spend and what kind of ballpark features you're looking at. This is going to be your basic. This is the 8-bit do Ultimate C. This is a pro controller very similar to this in its vein of, well, functionality. Look at that. No flappy paddles, nothing like this. This is going to be your standard pro controller. This is a fantastic controller. This one, averages around 29 to 35, depending on when you're buying it on Amazon. Sometimes you can get this as low as $25. Keep an eye out. This is a very good deal. Make sure you don't pay $35 or more, because you can always get it for a very good deal. Next, we got the Gameser Nova. The Gameser Nova is more of what most people think of a pro controller when it comes to features. It has Hall effect sticks. All of these have Hall effect sticks, by the way. This one has programmable back buttons, HD rumble, and your standard Switch style membrane buttons. This is a fantastic choice. And this is another very inexpensive one, sitting around that $30 mark, depending on when you're buying it. Like I say, always keep an eye out. These things fluctuate in price. I think this is a fantastic option. But do you like back flappy paddles? That's another thing. Now, what I do like about these, they do come with storage cases like this. I think it's fantastic. Which brings me to the latest one, which is the most expensive of the bunch. This one is a $50 controller. These range around $35, depending on when you're buying it, as low as $30. Just like I said, keep an eye out. This is the most expensive one. This is the one that has the most functionality and what most people think of when they think pro controllers. So you're going to have multiple spots for flappy paddles on the back. It comes with 2. You can purchase more, and then they just go in there. And it also has, I guess you would call it pressure sensitive, is what they call it during the day. There's still Hall effect. They're magnetics. They're more used on PC games, because this can be used on the PC as well as the Switch. And this is going to have your Hall effect sticks as well. This is a rather expensive controller. I wouldn't spend any more than $50 on something like this. That's if you want all those features. Honestly, do I think it's worth it? Do I think a pro controller in general is worth it? It depends on the console. Now, for the Nintendo Switch, it's very different. Why I chose to talk about the Switch ones, it's because of how popular the Nintendo Switch is. Now, if you're playing on PC, by all means, the more functionality you can get out of your controller, the better, and you can get some really high-end functionality in your controllers for a really good price with companies like FlyDigi and Mamba and stuff like that. There's so many out there, Easy SMX. You can get a lot of features for the PC. The PC market's very different than the console market, but most people these days have Nintendo Switches. Now, if you're looking at Xbox, you're going to cross over into that PC world. You're mainly going to get wired. And then you can get them pretty inexpensive. Now, these things you can also get wired versions for half the price. There is one for the Nintendo Switch from 8BitDo. That's around $20 to $25 standard. That's a wired controller. Great, right? But the way the Nintendo Switch is set up with the USB ports around the side, it makes it a little tougher. I think Switch controllers are best when they're wireless, and since they're very inexpensive for the most part, it makes it worth it to spend a little bit more on the functionality. But with all that out of the way, I've kind of gone over each of the differences in current pro controllers. But let me answer the question. Are they worth it? Depends. Oh, I know, not the answer you wanted to hear. But depends. It depends on the games that you play. Do you play fighting games? Do you play shooters? Do you play MMOs? What are you playing on your Nintendo Switch? Or in general, what are you playing? For those of us who play fighting games, I'm going to say no. For those of us who play shooters, I'm going to say yes. For those of us who play racing games, I'm going to say yes. For those of us who play mainly Nintendo first-party games, whether it be Mario, Luigi's, your Princess Peach, your Pokemon, your Fire Emblem, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this is honestly the best one. I think the 8BitDo Ultimate C is the best option for the money. This controller itself makes everything worth it. The price, the functionality, you've got HD rumble, you've got motion. The only thing these don't have is NFC. Most of the controllers that claim they do have NFC don't always work. So keep that in mind. But I would say this is the best, and it makes it worth every penny because you're getting everything minus NFC that you get out of here, and then you get it for a lot lower price. Are any of these a ripoff per se? No. It's all about the features you want. Is it worth it? It all depends on the games you're playing. But if I just had to say, is a Pro controller worth it? I'm going to say yes. I love controllers. Controllers are my thing. I love Pro style controllers, even though I'm not a person that uses flappy paddles. I have for racing games, and when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto on Xbox, I'll map reload and jump to the back. That's it. But otherwise, I don't use them. What I do like from most modern Pro controllers would have to be the Hall effect sticks, the low latency, and now a lot of them are coming with 1000 hertz or upgradable to 1000 hertz so you get a faster reaction time. I am covering a couple new ones with 1000 hertz in the future, so make sure you turn that bell on for notifications. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do that now. And I hope this helped out. I know I chose the Nintendo Switch, but most people usually think PlayStation or Xbox when they're thinking Pro or even PC. But hey, it's the Nintendo Switch and it has a lot of games. And I thought this just had the controllers that best fit that Pro because of this. You've got your standard Pro and then you got your Pro. We're going to call it Pro? I think we're going to call it Pro. Okay. But to circle back, I think they're worth it. I like Pro controllers. I like their functionality. Even if I don't use it all, I love me a good controller that can do more than just the basics. So there you go. There's your answer. Hopefully I didn't go on too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Make sure you tune in every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern for Ready to Start podcast. It's a great time. You won't regret it. And if you do, I'm sorry, but you should love it because it's a great podcast. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.